Good Monday morning, everyone, and welcome into today's daily Bible reading for April the 15th. It is good old tax day. Hope that you have already gotten your work done for that. For maybe the first time in my life, did not wait to the last minute. Actually got that done a few weeks ago. Glad that I don't have that stress on me today that I normally have being a procrastinator. But it is the tax day. But it is also today, whenever we're going to be reading Psalm 46. So it's tax day, it's Psalm 46 day, and we are going to give the Lord what is his. And that is certainly our time today, reading together from his word. And as we're reading here in Psalm 46, we're going to be reading a psalm of confidence, I believe. It would be appropriately labeled as a psalm of confidence, recognizing that God is our refuge. We are told that this is, for the choir director, a song of the sons of Korah, according to Alamoth. Let me get the text up on the screen. We'll read together here in Psalm number 46, beginning in verse number 1. Psalm 46, verse number 1 says, God is our refuge and strength, a helper who is always found in times of trouble. Therefore, we will not be afraid, though the earth trembles and the mountains topple into the depths of the sea, though its water roars and foams, and the mountains quake with its turmoil. Selah. There is a river. Its streams delight the city of God, the holy dwelling place of the Most High. God is within her. She will not be toppled. God will help her when the morning dawns. Nations rage, kingdoms topple. The earth melts when he lifts his voice. Yahweh of armies is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. Selah. Come, see the works of Yahweh, who brings devastation on the earth. He makes wars cease throughout the earth. He shatters bows and cuts spears to pieces. He sets wagons ablaze. Stop fighting and know that I am God, exalted among the nations, exalted on the earth. Yahweh of armies is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. Selah. And that is Psalm number 46. Psalm number 46, God, our refuge. Again, I believe this would be properly classified as a psalm of confidence. This psalm breaks down pretty neatly into three sections that are each capped by the word Selah. And again, it's an interesting term that we're not exactly sure what it means. It could be where the writing of the psalm is meant to be paused in this moment. Some think that it is the idea of taking a breath and allowing what you just said to be meditated upon. But whatever it is, it helps certainly within this psalm to break it down. And like I said, to three neat sections. Number one, we see God being a refuge in natural disaster. Two, God is a refuge with military attack. And then number three, Yahweh is God over all the nations. The first section, verse number 1, establishes the reality, establishes the truth, really, that this psalm is built upon. The fact that Yahweh, that God is, number 1, our refuge, number 2, our strength, number 3, our helper. He is refuge, he is strength, he is a helper. And but notice this, notice that he is a helper who is always found. Always found in times of trouble. There's some other ways that this could be translated. It could be translated that he is found greatly in times of trouble. We could say that he is, and this doesn't make very much grammatical sense to us, but it would be kind of a literal understanding of the text, that he is very found in times of trouble, or thirdly, he is easily found in times of trouble. Again, establishing the reality that Yahweh is our refuge, our strength, and our helper, and he is ready as we as his people look to him for these things. He is ready to be these things for us, and that again does not change. Therefore, because of these realities, that Yahweh is our refuge, Yahweh is our strength, Yahweh is our help, who is always found, ready to be found, easily found, he's very found. Therefore, we will not be afraid. Therefore, we will not be afraid. Therefore, we will be courageous. We will have confidence, even though the earth trembles, the mountains topple into the depths of the sea, though its water roars and foams, and the mountains quake with its turmoil, though there might be earthquake or tornado or hurricane or tsunami, even though the world might be turned upside down. Here's again, the truth that is established by the sons of Korah. We will not be afraid. Again, why? Why will we not be afraid? Because again, our God is our refuge, our strength, our helper. He is always found in times of trouble. It's section number 1. Section number 2, beginning in verse number 4. In the first section, we have this imagery of chaotic water, uncontrolled water that can bring fear, even though we should not be afraid because, again, God is our refuge, our strength, and our helper. But then we turn to verse number 4, and we see things have calmed down now, that there is a river, that this chaotic water imagery is now turned into calm water. There is a river. Its streams delights the city of God, the holy dwelling place of the Most High. God is within her. She will not be toppled. God will help her. I think what's in view here is Jerusalem, and the city where God's presence dwells within the temple. I don't necessarily think that this is a literal river that is being described here. I think more so it is the idea of God's blessings flowing through Jerusalem. And because these blessings are flowing through Jerusalem, and the reasons these blessings are flowing, easy enough for me to say, because these blessings are flowing through Jerusalem, or the reason they are doing this is because God's presence is there. And the reality is that God's presence equals victory. If God is present, there is victory. So when the morning dawns, God will help her when the morning dawns. Nations may rage. Here's the thing: kingdoms are going to topple, just like the mountains. Just like mountains are toppling, kingdoms are going to topple as well. The idea here is just it's chaos again. It's absolute chaos, just like we have natural chaos in the first section. Here we have military chaos, fighting and such. But notice that the earth melts when he lifts his voice, that God is in control in the midst of the chaos. The earth melts when he lifts his voice. Yahweh of armies is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. God is not moved. God is not moved, and those who are in his presence, they are not moved either. Section 3, come see the works of Yahweh, who brings devastation to the earth. He makes war cease throughout the earth. He shatters bows and cuts spears to pieces. He sets wagons ablaze. How does he make war cease? Well, he makes war cease by destroying the opposing army. That's how he makes war cease. There is no war if there is no opposing army. So Yahweh, by his strength, is sovereign over all the nations. He defeats anyone who tries to stand against him. And the same thing again is true for Jerusalem. That as the place where God's presence dwells in the temple, as the place where his people reside, where his king specifically resides, they too will be victorious so long as they are in Yahweh's presence. So Yahweh says, stop your fighting and know that I am God, exalted among the nations, exalted on the earth. Again, the sovereign God above all. There is no one who is mightier. There is no one who is wiser. There's no one who covers the expanse of the creation like Yahweh. He is exalted among the nations, exalted on the earth. Yahweh of armies is with us. The God of Jacob is our stronghold. That's the repeated refrain here within this particular psalm. It just shows up twice at the end of verse number 7, or in verse number 7 and in verse number 11. Again, Yahweh of armies is with us. Again, the name Yahweh of armies, or other translations might say something like Lord of hosts. The idea there is military might. It is about strength. It is about power. It is about might in battle. So God is the God of strength. He is supported by countless spiritual angelic forces. He is Yahweh of armies. If he is with us, then we're secure. Why? Because the God of Jacob is our refuge. Again, going back to verse number 1, Yahweh is our strength, or at first, Yahweh is our refuge. So another idea, similar words. I would say refuge and stronghold are synonymous terms. So he is a place of stability. He is a place of strength. He is a place of help. If Yahweh is with us, if we are in his presence, then we will be victorious. But I think it is also important to make mention of the reality that Yahweh's presence is not unconditional. That Yahweh's presence is not unconditional. You know, there was times within the history of Israel that they thought that they were invincible because, you know, we're Israel. We're God's people. He's going to save us no matter what. But what happens whenever that arrogance, which is exactly what it is, that is arrogance. What happens whenever that arrogance leads them to reject the will of Yahweh and to not submit to him, to not submit to his authority, to not do as he has dictated needs to be done? What happens then? Well, whenever that happens, guess what? Yahweh's presence is no longer there. That's the reason Jerusalem is finally destroyed by the Babylonians, and the temple is razed because of their unfaithfulness. So if the people reject God, if they have no faith in God, if they have no confidence in God, if they have no trust in God, if they're not willing to follow God, guess what? His presence will no longer be there. And guess what that leads to? If his presence always equals victory, then you guessed it, his lack of presence is going to end in defeat. So yes, God is our refuge. Yes, we can have confidence in him no matter what happens. His people will remain victorious. But that demands of us that we remain his people, that we remain faithful, that we remain trusting, that we remain loyal to him in everything that we do. No matter whether we're talking about Jerusalem in history or whether we're talking about his people that make up his church today. That is so vitally important. Yes, we want his presence, but in order to enjoy his presence, we must be faithful. And faith, as the song says, is the victory. I appreciate so much you tuning in for this reading on this Monday. Hope you have a great rest of your Monday. May God bless you in all that you do. Hope Uncle Sam is nice to you this year. And we'll be back at it again, reading together on Wednesday from Psalm number 47, which is titled by the translators of my Bible, God our King. We're told this is for the choir director, a psalm of the sons of Korah. Looking forward to reading that with you then on Wednesday, Psalm number 47. Have a great day, everyone. Take care, and God bless.